I'm going to show you the best strategies and enchant combos that you can use to be able to try to hatch one of the active huges from the leaderboard. Now, there's going to be a few tips and tricks here on how to get some of the items. I want to make sure that people have a general understanding of how many total enchants it takes to go from a tier 1 book to a tier 8. Using the upgrade enchants machine, because I feel like this isn't really public knowledge. Even though you can do the math, it is tedious and that's a lot of work, so I'll save you guys the trouble and I'll do the work for you. Now, a few things we need to understand first. If you're new to Pet Sim 99, you may not understand. To get a huge pet like the huge fluffy cat, two things need to happen. One, you need to hit rebirth number 2 and get all the way to the last zone of the current update. Right now, that egg is number 87. This egg has quite a few really strong pets, but the main thing people want is this huge pet. And number 2, if you're specifically looking for a huge pet, it has to be on the active huge leaderboards, which changes every 2 days. And there's so many items and enchants in this game, it's hard to know what exactly is the best combination of everything in order for you to have the best chance at hatching yourself one of these huge pets. For instance, mine is a shiny huge, which is incredibly rare and harder to get than most. But what were the enchants that I were running when I actually hatched it? And is there a better composition of enchants to increase your odds of actually getting the huge? Alright, so the enchants I was running when I hatched my huge shiny fluffy cat, honestly kind of underwhelming. This isn't really a solid composition whatsoever, but it's because I was splitting my time AFK and I was AFK hatching, so I figured may as well increase it by 50% chance and maybe a 60% chance to increase the huge and a little bit of extra egg luck. But the main reason I was AFK was because I had an alt account in the last zone farming for coins as well as farming for gems. So I had fortune, the chest mimic, criticals, and strength all going at the same time, so that way I could infinitely hatch overnight with no issues. I've literally hatched over hundreds of thousands of pets from the new egg. You can even see here 56,000 total of them, 74,000 of the rainbow one, 1,100, 20,000 of the wizard westie. The list goes on, but I think that there may be a better composition for enchants than the one I was running when I hatched it. And I'm going to teach you guys exactly what that is. So first off, we're going to clear off every single enchant that we have on here. And there's a bunch to choose from. There's a lot of luck ones, there's a lot of breakables, etc. But which ones actually affect the huge? And to our knowledge, the only enchant in the game that actually increases the chance of you getting an active huge pet is the huge hunter. Now, I personally have 5 of them now. Now, that's a lot of gems, considering the fact at the time of recording this video, they are 4 million gems each. That's absurdly expensive. But let me tell you a little secret. I didn't pay anything for any of them. I did not pay a single gem for any of these huge hunters. In fact, all I did was I played an alt account, I gave it some of the strongest pets from the current update, and as I'm playing this game, I passively got it all the way up to rebirth number 2, and I just had it sit here AFK with its pets here to farm for coins, and then hatching the first egg. The reason why is if you give it strong enchants, they get a lot of coins from this surprisingly, and you can actually hatch these pretty much infinitely if you do it right, especially with the free gift. And anytime the alt account would complete the extravaganza achievement, I just traded over the huge hunter enchant over to my main. Now you can buy these from the trading plaza, but they are incredibly expensive, and they may be a worthwhile investment for you, but I prefer the free to play way. Although it takes a bit of time, it is definitely worth it. Now, the main reason why I don't stack any more than 5 is for one reason and one reason only, because anything after 5 has very diminishing returns, meaning if you had 6, 7, or even 8 of these in use, you're actually not increasing the buff as much as you think you are. Although the math would check out at 200% increased chance, every time you put on the same enchant, they slowly get weaker and weaker just by a very small margin. It is better to use just a maximum of 5 of any singular enchant in order to get the maximum efficiency out of it. Now for the rest of the enchants, it's pretty simple. I personally run triple shiny hunter. And the reason why I run this setup now is for 2 reasons. 1, it gives you the best chance to get a huge pet, but also 2, it has a 180% increased chance to be shiny. And if you've collected all of your shiny relics throughout the entire game, you can see where all the 5 new ones are in one of my previous videos, you actually have such an insane chance to get the shiny. Now, how do you get the shiny hunter enchant? And you get the shiny hunter enchant by hatching over 2,250 shiny pets, which sounds like so many shiny pets, But honestly, if you get all of the shiny relics, it's not that difficult. It can be done within a couple of hours at the least. But let's talk about why I'm not running any of the luck books for any of my hatching. When it comes down to hatching from these eggs, I've always had a theory that even goes back to Pet Simulator X. And that was, I believe that the ultra lucky and lucky game passes didn't really increase your chances for a huge, but did increase your chances for every other pet in the egg. Now, I think it's a little different here in Pet Simulator 99, for the sole purpose of you're getting increased luck on the egg overall. It's not specifically for a type of pet like legendary, exotic, divine, or superior, which makes me think that these game passes actually increases your chance of getting a huge pet. But one thing is for sure, and that is that lucky eggs actually do not increase your odds of getting a huge pet. They only affect the other pets in the egg. So with that information in mind, if you're specifically looking to hunt huges as a free-to-play player, it is much better to invest your time in flipping enchants for money, because honestly, enchants right now are incredibly expensive. Coin 6 is 226,000 gems. Critical 6 is 360k. Diamonds 6 is 770,000 gems. And getting enchants is really easy. You just play mini games and loot up the best area you can. They slowly stack up over time, and I mean, even for myself, I have hundreds at a time, and I clear this constantly. My genuine advice would be try to stock up on as many huge hunters as you can, up to 5 total, because I genuinely believe that 5 of them is the best strategy to go with. And if you do have the luxury of having this setup, this is your best chance for a free-to-play huge pet. And again, I didn't pay any gems for these, nor did I pay any Robux. So this is all free to play. It's a setup that took me about a week and a half to actually get to, but it was incredibly worth it. Because I mean, look at this. I now have a huge pet that is worth 56.2 million. 29 of them exist, and this setup is only going to increase my chances of getting it when I AFK the game even more. Now, I told you guys that I would teach you guys about how many tier 1s you actually need to get up to a tier 7 enchant, and this is exactly the math that you're going to see, and I'll have a graphic on the screen. I'm going to break it down as simple as possible. To make a tier 2, you need 5 tier 1s. To make a tier 3 enchant, you need 25 tier 1s. To make a tier 4, you need 125 tier 1s. To make a tier 5, you need 875 tier 1 enchants. To make a tier 6, you need 6,125 tier 1 enchants. Now that sounds absurd, but that is how the numbers work out to be. But there's one more step, and let me explain something real quick before we dive into this last one. How come a lot of people have a lot of tier 5s, tier 6s, etc. if it takes this many tier 1 enchants? It's because as you're playing the game, you're getting tier 2s, tier 3s, and tier 4s as drops, and those save so much time in terms of actually merging from one to the next. If we had to actually farm up the amount of tier 1s we need to get to the max enchant, we'd be playing this game for years. It's insane. But the last one, in order to make a tier 7 enchant in Pet Simulator 99, you need 42,875 tier 1s. That's absurd. But it is doable, not farming up that much, but farming up the tier 2s and tier 3s ideally. Tier 1s are nice just to be able to kind of fill up the space, but when it comes down to it, the best case scenario that you can do is getting your hands on any of the middle tiers to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get the tier 7 enchants. And the name I've gone with for my huge shiny fluffy cat is Elsa, which thank you to Daniel Omar for giving that name suggestion. Sadly, he didn't leave his username though. So Daniel, if you see this, leave your username down below so that way I can actually give you your gift. Because again, guys, any huge that I ask you guys to name, I will always give you guys a gift if you said the name. And as for naming my huge pets, I need one for my huge rainbow capybara. So if you guys could absolutely help me out by leaving a comment down below, again with a name idea for the huge rainbow capybara, but also with your username. Don't forget it, guys. I would love to be able to send you guys gifts. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helps you guys get a huge, and let me know which enchant compositions you guys are running to hatch for your huges. And let me know if you do hatch any of them in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Happy New Year's, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.